Peace and power, y'all. This is your brother Baba Amin Ojuwoke, and this is the morning build. You know what I'm saying? I pray that everybody's had a blacktastic week out there. I just wanted to come on right quick while my babies are hard at work at the Uhuru Academy with their creative writing. I wanted to come on and just talk to the community for a little bit. I haven't gone live all week. We haven't had a morning build all week. You know what I'm saying? So let me go in here and let some folk know. Let me let some people know, you know what I'm saying, that we building this morning. Let me go let some people know that we are building this morning. All right. And let me see here. Let me do that. I pray everybody's doing blacktastic this week. And we're gonna do it like this. Let's see, let's change that up so that stream will be better. Yeah, make that stream smoother, and then let me go in here and let me get some folk in here. Let me let some people know that we own and we ending off this work week with some knowledge. Uh why not? Why not? Why not? Let's do it like that. Let's do it like that. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Mic check 1 2. Peace, peace, peace. Once you jump in the comments, especially if you have a black-owned business. But holla at your bro. Once you jump in, holla at me. Let me know you're there. If you have a business, put your business in the comments. We can't spread the dollar if we don't spread the word. I can't support you if I don't know you're out there. In the meantime, also go support the Uhuru Academy. All right, our African-centered institution of learning. Go to uhuruacademy.com. Yo, we are now enrolling in our K through 12 online private school. All right. So you definitely want to check that out. Some of you are ready to liberate your child from the public food system. Some of you are already out there homeschooling but need some assistance, right? Check out the Uhuru Academy. That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. Lawfully basic homeschooling journey in the house. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yo, hey, I just read an article. More and more Black families are homeschooling, right? It's increasing. More and more Black families are homeschooling. Join groups like Lawfully Basic, and make sure you're linking with people who are in homeschool co-ops. Make sure you're linking with other Black families that are homeschooling as well. That's going to help empower your homeschooling journey. Also, get with the Uhuru Academy. All right, get with the Uhuru Academy to help empower your homeschooling journey as well. Y'all, we need to liberate our children from the public school system. We do. I mean, it is what it is, right? And yes, I've trained teachers in the public school system. And yes, I recognize that the majority of our children are still in public schools and they're going to be there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your tax dollars pay for the public school. So when we say it's time to liberate our children from the public school system, for me, that doesn't necessarily take all of them out, right? So like let's look at that phrase, liberate our children from the public school system. What we're saying is, right, we want to free our children from the poor job that the public school system is doing. We want to free our children from the racist curriculum that the public school system promotes. We want to free our children from low expectations. We want to free our children from criminalization. All of the things that our children are going through as a result of being a part of, or as a result of public school system policies, we want to liberate them from that. Well, how do you liberate your children? How do you liberate your children from those policies? Well, there's several ways to liberate yourself. Just like there were several ways to liberate yourself during slavery. You had some who poisoned the slave master. You had some who escaped. You had some who burned down the house. The methodology may be different, but the end goal is the same. So when we say we need to liberate our children from the public school system, we're not just talking one way. We're not just talking one way, right? We're saying, yes, you got to be on the inside fighting, parents. Parents, you have to be on the inside fighting for your children in the public school system. Parents, you got to end the blind trust and start reading what's going on. What are these policies? Study the business of public school because it's a business as well, right? Liberating our children from the public school system means being at that school board. You should be raising heck. People been calling me lately, complaining. People been calling me lately, complaining about like Trumpsters and conservative white people coming into school board meetings, disrupting the school board meetings, and saying we don't want this book in the library. We don't want this book in the library. I'm hearing a lot of black people saying, they taking our books out of the schools. They doing this. They doing that. Well, what you doing? What are you doing? What were you doing before they started taking the few books they had about you at the school? And why we ain't down there raising hell just like them? Think about it. Think about it. You've been having something to complain about for 50 years. You've been having something to complain about for decades. Why you not down there? Why you not down there demanding that there's more Black history being taught in school? Why you not down there demanding that the children are learning entrepreneurship? Why you not down there demanding that they stop stopping and frisking your children? Why you not down there raising hate? Why you not down there demanding that the teachers get the training that they need? Why you not down there demanding that the state standardized tests get canceled because they're culturally insensitive tests? Why you not down there raising the same kind of hate? But then when these folks on the up, what you call the other side, step up and say, we don't want books about Black people in our library. We don't want books about gays in our library. Now you up on them. They down there, raising hell and getting everything they want. It ain't fair. They getting everything they want. Of course they getting everything they want. They making demands. What you demanding? Why don't you try to make a demand just to see what you'll get, see if you'll get what you want? I said, we go down there. They ain't gonna, when we go down there and see what they gonna do. Go down there and see. Stop getting mad at empowered people and empower yourself. Stop getting upset at working class people who decide to empower themselves and to exercise their rights or exercise their power. Stop getting mad at them and exercise your power. Instead of sitting back, waiting on your Negro leaders or the few people that you put in office to do everything for you. Because that's not how it works. We sitting up watching our children underperform, be underserved, be miseducated, undereducated. We watching. We blame the child before we blame the system. Before I go down there and face them, I'm gonna get in your face. You lean over and get in the baby face. See, you don't want to learn nothing. You're sorry, just like your daddy. You're this, you're that. No, that baby brilliant. You the problem. That baby's brilliant. You the problem. You the problem because you taking the word of a failing system over the word of your child. You the problem because you know your baby brilliant. At least you thought your baby was brilliant before you took them down there and you didn't let them people convince you that your child got problems. You the problem. And because you scared to get in their face, you get in your child face. Look at these grades. This ain't this shit right here. You ain't getting on the PlayStation, Ray. You ain't getting on the PlayStation. Look at these grades. Hey, you sorry. But you won't walk in that school. You won't walk in that school and tell that principal he's sorry. Tell that teacher she's sorry. You won't walk in that school and get to the bottom of it. I know my baby is brilliant. What's going on with my child? I know my baby is brilliant. Now we're going to sit down here and figure this out. But you won't confront them. You won't go to the next school board meeting. You just let them tell you that your child is the problem. Okay. Then you get mad at the white folks come down there and start demanding things for their children, and you start calling them racist. See, they racist. Well, what are you? Better to be racist than apathetic. At least they got a side. At least they have an opinion. What's your opinion? How do you express it? What do you think? Ooh, underline that word, think. So when we say we need to liberate our children from the public school system, a part of that liberation is liberating them from our own ignorance. We have to liberate them from us, those of us who are inactive. We have to liberate them from that. We got to liberate them from your laziness. We got to liberate them from your apathetic, your being intimidated by people because they got degrees on the wall. We got to liberate our children from that too. We got to liberate them from that kind of thinking that somebody's doing them a favor by letting them come into the schoolhouse. They are the treasure. They are the favor. The system is the one that's honored to have your child there, not the other way around. So when we say liberate our children from the public school system, we're not just talking about pulling them out. You should be fighting like hell to create an experience for them while they're in there. But are we fighting as hard as we could fight? When your baby come home with A's and B's, you feel like you don't have a fight. It ain't no more problem. It ain't no problem. As long as my baby making A's and B's, it ain't no problem. You can miseducate. You know what? When a child is being miseducated, A's and B's ain't a good thing. That means they're getting a deeper miseducation. But my baby make A's and B's, so I'm cool. My baby's excelling in this failing system, so I'm straight. I don't have a problem. Let me tell you how it affects the whole community. Remember, Brenda got a baby. Your baby doing good, so you don't have to worry about the next baby. You don't have to worry about systemic racism because your baby's doing good. You don't have to worry about criminalization because your baby is doing good. But your child's peers are a bigger impact on your child than you are. The number one influence on young people is other young people. So if young people are having a hard time in the midst of your child having a hard time too. You know how many great children I've seen go by the wayside simply from survivor's guilt? Simply because they felt bad doing well while their peers were doing, they felt bad doing good while their peers were doing bad. See, when we say liberate our children from the public school system, deeper than just taking them out. We should be down there fighting for the right for those policies. So that's why I don't have a problem with school choice. I don't have a problem with school choice at all because you have conscientious parents, you have engaged parents that deserve the option of building an optimal education for their children. Yeah, shout out to Florida. I know y'all don't like Florida. Y'all don't like DeSantis. The media told you not to like DeSantis. They told you don't like Florida. Everything they do is racist. Don't look, don't look. They taking black history out of the schools. They taking black history out of the schools. Fool, black history ain't never been in the school. How can they take out something that's never really been there? There's never been enough black history in the school. They got you fighting to get nothing back. They got you fighting for a crumb of history to be returned to the school. So he becomes the face of racism. These Democrats, boy, it's funny, 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 funny. Y'all know the Democrats and Republicans just two wings on the same bird. And neither party like you no more than the other. The Democrats have a longer history of actually terrorism against the black community, but that's a whole nother thing, man. But boy, they got y'all thinking that DeSantis is the Klan, Trump is the Klan. Whew. Look, when you look at Florida, when you really look at Florida, like go study it, right? Yes, the racism is there, but this is America, y'all. Racism is everywhere. Raise your hand if you live in a non-racist state. Just raise your hand right now. If you live in that part of America that's not racist, put it in the chat. And I know the Israels are in the chat. They in Chicago, they in Illinois. They're in a majority black city and it's racist against black people. And they're in a majority black city. But if you're not in a racist city, if you're in a part of America right now as a black person, you can say this part of America is not racist. Put it in the chat. So it boggles my mind how any state could have the reputation of a racist state. There are all racist states. All 50. Name one that's not. I promise you, if you can name it, I won't ever say this again. So here come the Democrats in the media. Florida, racist state. Boy, this bad down in Florida. Travel ban. It's dangerous for black people to travel in Florida. It's dangerous for black people to travel all over this mug. It's dangerous. It's been dangerous for black people to travel in America. It's been dangerous for 300 years. But Florida, boy, Ron DeSantis, he hate black people. You think he the only one? You think he the only one that don't want black people living next to him? You think he the only one that don't want his daughter dating a black person? You think he the only one? You think that's unique to Florida? And then you coming at the Florida school system. They're going and they're trying to find all the woke books and get the woke books out of the libraries, and they plan it up to you like it's some kind of big emergency and got you all distracted. It ain't never been no really powerful books in the public school libraries for you. But the sad part about it is, were you fighting to get black history in your school before DeSantis got in the news? Was you fighting for that already? Were you a part of the fight to get African history in the schools? Was the black community protesting and stepping up and demanding black history before that got into the news? Or were we being quiet? Were we acting like everything was everything? Correct. Where was the fight? Now, I know where the fight is. Don't get me wrong. There are black people fighting for that every day. But I'm talking about on a mass level. I'm talking about on a mass level. Ain't nothing special about Florida. Ain't nothing special about Florida racism. There's nothing unique about Florida racism. Nothing. And if you catch white leaders saying racist things, they're just articulating their feelings, which are already representative by their actions. They already doing racism. Why are you looking in their mouth to see if they talking something? You better not say the N-word. I'm looking. Okay, I won't say the N-word, but I'm going to go over here and redistrict, draw the district maps, and split the black vote up 3 ways in my city so y'all won't have any political power. But I will not say the N-word while I do it. I promise. I promise I won't. Hey, I promise while I'm denying black people business loans, even when they qualify for them, I promise I won't say monkey. I won't call one of them a monkey. I won't. I'm gonna deny the hell out these loans. You just worry about what I say. You know what? While we steal land from black farmers and continue to push them out of agriculture, we won't call anybody darky, coon, or the N-word. We promise we won't do. We won't say anything racist, but we're gonna take that land. And while we miseducate your children, while we don't teach them anything about themselves, while we put them on a pipeline to prison, I promise you, we won't call them little animals and savages and monkeys. We won't use any of those terms. We won't use the N-word. We won't use any of those terms. But we gonna miseducate them, though. But we damn sure gonna put them in that prison to pipeline, that pipeline to prison. Oh, we gonna do that. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And all this extra money we get for declaring them disabled or learning deficient. Oh, we gonna go get all that money. Oh yeah, we're gonna turn our black schools into failing schools, which in turn we're gonna turn into cash cow schools because we get more federal grants when we have problems than when we have success. So we're going to make sure the problem stays among the group where everyone expects there to be a problem, but we won't call them a nigger while we do it. I promise you, we won't say anything racist while we do it, but we gonna do it. Oh, we're gonna make sure that there are plenty guns to put in the hands of them little ignorant black boys that we help you miseducate. Yes, absolutely, we're gonna provide a platform to promote black on black violence. Of course, we're gonna do that, but we won't call you a pickaninny not one time while we do it. We'll just leave that in here. We'll leave that in our minds. So you can be at ease. So you can be at ease while we destroy you kindly. Because I can destroy you without calling you names. You taught me that. We taught Europeans that. We taught the government that you could destroy black people without calling them names. You don't have to name call. It's obvious now that you don't have to name call in order to hurt somebody because they're not calling us names. But we damn sure getting hurt. I see how we pick up on the wrong things. You see how we've been miseducated and trained to look for the wrong cues, for the wrong thing. We worrying about somebody saying something about black people need to go back to Africa. We worrying about that, but you're not looking at what's actually happening in front of you, in your face. They got it's DeSantis, it's Trump, it's this person, it's that person. No, it's right in front of you. It's the system that you're walking in, the system that you're dealing with each and every day. And how do you liberate yourself from it? You have to try to do it from within and from without. You got to find pockets of freedom in the midst of it. That's why you have to stay engaged. I tell black people and in the Black Power movement, absolutely you vote. Absolutely, you go down there, especially locally. Absolutely, you vote and you get engaged and you try to sway. And even if you don't vote, buy politicians, develop your leaders, be involved, know what's going on, know where the bond package is going. You have to do that. How you gonna have power and not be aware of what's going on around you? Ignoring your environment is not power. Yes, we have to buy and invest in property in our community. How you call it your hood, you don't want to own nothing in it. So liberating ourselves from anything requires work. And liberating our children from the school system requires work. And I know the title of this video is "A Tree Without Roots Cannot Stand," but you see, that's the foundation that we need to get the mentality or develop the mentality that we need in order to actually impact change in our community. We treat ourselves the way we treat ourselves because of where we think we come from. We treat ourselves the way we treat ourselves because of our definitions of ourselves. Even those of us, even many of us who understand that we don't come from slavery, that we come from societies and civilizations in Africa, we're not inundated with that message enough to for it to make an impact. Because you may know that, yeah, we come from kings and queens, and you turn on the TV, nigga this, nigga him, then you turn on your music, I kill him, I'm twerking on him, I'm doing this. So you're inundated with all these other definitions of what being black is. You know the truth, but because you feed yourself all this garbage tends to come out. Or at the very least, you just get neutralized. You get neutralized where you don't want to do anything, where you just want to survive. You just want to find a pocket, a corner that you can sit in and not be engaged. Maybe get online and talk a little noise, but not actually get engaged. See, because you disconnected from your roots. Just because you know about it, just because you can recite some things, that don't mean you're connected to your roots. That don't mean you're connected to where you come from. You're not connected to who you are. So you scared of them white folks at the school board meeting. It's not. Stop lying. You don't stop lying. It's not about they corrupt anyway. It's not about we'll go down there, ain't nothing gonna happen. That's not why you're not going. You scared. You are afraid. We are afraid. We're afraid of confrontation with the system. You think they can take your house. You think they can take your job. You think they can take your car. And we're ashamed of us. We're mad at us. And it's hard to fight for something that you're ashamed of. It's hard to fight for something that you're mad at. It's hard to fight for something that you're trying to get away from. It's hard. And when you do fight, you'll only go so far. That's why I laugh when people say, I stand with Palestine. Are you sure? Because that move there, the Palestinian movement is about land, reparations, and retribution, and it's an armed revolution. So when you say you stand, what part of that do you support? You support the armed part, the armed revolution where they fighting violently for their freedom? Because you sure don't stand for black folks in America that do. You've erased them type of people from history. We don't talk about any African people in black history. In the black history that you had before DeSantis, they wasn't talking about Nat Turner. That black history that them Democrats fighting for, Nat Turner ain't in that history. Gabriel Prosser's not in that history. Huh? The Haitian Revolution is not in that history. That's the one that they're fighting for. The one that you had before. Jean-Jacques Dessalines ain't in that history. Zumbi or Palmadas ain't in that history. Gaspar Younger is not in that history. They not there. But you stand with Palestine. What part of it? They want a nation. They want a nation of their own. You look at your black nationalists and run other the black folks talking about they want a nation of their own. That's so stupid. But the Palestinians want one too. The Palestinians ain't fighting for equity and inclusion and diversity. That's not what they're fighting for. They're not fighting for equity, diversity, and inclusion like you. That's not what they're fighting for. So when you say you stand with it, what are you standing with? And do you truly stand with that, or is it just you just want them to stop being bombed? You want the bombing to stop. You don't like to see babies getting killed. You don't like to see that. So you just want that to stop. But that's not where they suffering is at. Yeah, that's horrible. It's nothing more horrible than that. But what do you know about the slow death that they were enduring before the bombing? Uh-oh. You just don't want it in front of you. So is this really about them or is it about you? Is it about you being able to stay in your pocket and pretend like everything is all right with the world? Because that's why our children are suffering. Because there's a certain level we'll get to. There's a certain level of confrontation that we've been trained to get to and then stop. We won't go all out for our children. We won't go as far as pull them out of school. And for those of you who are doing it, I applaud you because and it's increasing because there are more tools out here. There are more tools for liberation out here. There are more tools to where we can tell the system, look, if you're not going to do this, if you're not going to educate our children in the way that we want our children to be educated, then we pulling them out. Then we taking them with us. And we're going to turn every church into a school. We're going to buy new buildings and turn them into school. We're going to turn empty houses into schools, and we're going to educate our own children. We got sisters in the community that's getting food stamps or whatever. The cafeteria going to be flooded with food. We're going to train and hire teachers. Professional teachers are going to help us train and hire and develop our homeschool co-ops. We finna do what we got to do. See, a lot of y'all running around here playing dress up. A lot of my brothers and sisters in the movement are running around here playing dress up. They put on black berets and black power fists and gloves. And they even show up at protests. And sometimes they bring their guns. But y'all, the Black Power movement is about moving the community, inside the community, from the inside out. It ain't about protesting. It ain't about posturing. If we're not building schools, there is no Black Power movement. If we're not bringing education, if we're not bringing health care, all these beautiful natural health gurus, and shout out to this man, shout out to all my naturalists and herbalists out there educating Black people on health. Shout out to all my African-centered therapists out there fighting mental health issues in the Black community. Shout out to all my African-centered educators out there building. Y'all, if y'all not participating in that, what you doing? What you doing? If you're not supporting, yeah, you got to fight what's within. We got to fight to make the public schools better. But in the meantime, what we doing? See, we have to build our own school so we realize what the public school should look like. That's what we've done. The Hoover Academy has been here since 2010, and we're developing teaching methods and curriculum that when the public school system, when parents of our students in the public school system say, well, what do our children need? We have it. We have it. We have not only the curriculum, the approach, the vision. Oh, we have it. Because we have to do it first. We have to understand how to do it before we can tell the system how to do it. We have to step back and educate our own without the system. Educate our own with the freedom, right? To sit there and say, what do our children actually need? And we can't worry about who's offended when we say they need to learn the totality of our story from our perspective. That means that Malcolm X is just as much the hero as Dr. King. That means that Nat Turner is just as much the hero as Harriet Tubman. Killing white people does not disqualify you from the hero discussion. That means Marcus Garvey is a hero because he taught us to circulate our dollars. Just like W.B. Du Bois, who didn't agree with him, is also a hero. But you have to teach the totality of our story. That means the Haitian Revolution becomes the most beautiful and powerful revolution to ever happen in the Western Hemisphere and maybe the history of humanity, because it's the only time a group of enslaved, kidnapped people not only freed themselves, but took over the nation that enslaved them and established a new government. That happened in Haiti. That was a huge W that your child is not going to learn about in a United States school. And Haiti is right next door. I remember a young person came to me a few months ago and said, man, we was watching the new black lady get on the Supreme Court, and our history teacher, who's black, she was like, ooh, I really want to teach y'all our history, but I can't. A professional black teacher getting paid told her class full of black students in a 98% black school that I wish I could teach y'all about our real history, but I can't because they're in that public school. That ain't the public school fault. What made that adult black person feel enslaved in a classroom full of children to the point to where she was afraid to teach them their own history? What must she be going through on the inside to sit in the classroom and be afraid to teach your children their own history and to verbalize it? I wish I could teach y'all our real history, but I can't. What did she just teach them? We're slaves. We're second class citizens. We're not free. That this ain't a place where you can learn about yourself. This ain't a place where you can learn about who you are. Then what the hell am I doing here? If I can't learn about me here, why am I here? And I guarantee you, if you poll a bunch of black teachers right now and ask them, do you feel liberated enough in your job to teach black children black history? I guarantee you over 75% will say no. They do not feel liberated enough in their job to teach black children black history. And don't y'all understand that it's not just because it's black history? It's just a principle within itself that there's something that's empowering for our children that they can learn, but they're not allowed to learn it in 2023 at a place that your tax dollars pay for. And of course, that's not the only thing they're not learning. They're not learning how to organize, right? I like Katina. Katina, I like what you said. We must teach our kids to organize a whole curriculum, even on how to start our own political parties, banks, hospitals, even community justice systems. 100% correct. You should see the civics curriculum that we've developed at the Uhuru Academy. You should see the civics curriculum that we've developed at the Uhuru Academy because we address everything that's in that comment. Why would we not teach that? Is the fear of Black militancy so strong that we're willing to miseducate our children? We're willing to not teach our children certain things because we fear they're going to use what they learn to fight the system? Are we that afraid? Are we afraid what they would do with the power? So we participate, we willingly, we support our children not learning anything that they can use to empower themselves. We're so afraid of what they might do with it. I mean, is that our fear? Whose fear is that? It's just something to think about. Are we really maximizing our rights? Are we really maximizing our power? I'm not talking about harming nobody. I'm talking about maximizing what we have for ourselves while you're standing with this group and standing with that group. How is your group standing? Hmm, just addressing it. A tree without roots cannot stand. Not even with half the roots, with weak roots, with diluted roots, with poison roots. It can lean, it can exist, it can be there, but it's probably just providing shade for others or to be chopped down and used for timber by others. It's not a strong tree that's linked to other roots in the forest and bringing nutrients to the forest. That tree is weak. Our tree has been weakened, and we're afraid of efforts to strengthen it. We're afraid to get stronger, but there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. If you're gonna let what happens, what other people go through in their liberation struggles across the world, where they get to the level to where they're being killed, get to the level to where there's conflict, get to the level to where whoever they're going up against, whoever the Goliath is, start setting examples out of people and dropping bombs on people, and really that's about projecting fear and that sort of thing, and they taking it on the chin and looking like they're not even changing their philosophy. Uh, Look at that part, because you don't even know if that's what you're risking when you stand up for your children. Are they gonna bring tanks? If we say, hey, we're gonna pull them all out, are they gonna bomb our neighborhoods if we pull our children out of public school? Are they gonna bring in the tanks if we start showing up at the school board meeting? I mean, we ain't even got to the point to where they need to come blow up the Black community. We ain't got that far. Can we agitate a little bit, just advocating a little bit on behalf of our children? Can we start there? Let me Can we start there? Can we just start by saying, you know what, we're about to rally around the Black child unashamedly? Can we start there? Can we start there? Say, no, you know what? We're about to protect the image of Black youth. No longer will Black youth be portrayed in the media as just thugs and thoughts. We're going to fight that. And we're going to make noise about that unashamedly. And we ain't going to let nobody, especially nobody that's not us, get rich off of that. Can we just start there? Can we start with kindergarten? Let's pull our kindergartners out. Let's set up kindergartens in the hood. Let's set up kindergarten, pre-K and kindergarten programs in the hood. Let's organize. Let's go. Let's grab an abandoned house in the hood. Let's turn it into a little schoolhouse. Make it a pre-K to kindergarten. Let's put 2 or 3 of them in the neighborhood, and let's not put. Let's take all our children out of the kindergarten public school and put them in that kindergarten. Let's do that. Can we? Let's just start there. The Great Kindergarten Boycott of 2024. Let's start there. Do you realize that's a multi-billion-dollar boycott? And do you realize in states like Florida that you call racist, in states like Florida, you can start schools like that and then use your tax dollars to pay for it. In states like Arizona, they call that a racist state too. You can build schools like that and use your tax dollars to pay for it. But because the racists like that bill too, you don't want to touch it. Because you think if you support school choice, that make you racist too. That's not what that means. They have their reasons for wanting to pull their children out. You have your reasons for wanting to build something new for your children. And if you have an opportunity to use your tax dollars to build an education experience that's better for your children than what they're getting now, then you take that opportunity. And every Black person in every other state should be fighting for the same choice. If you're not going to change it within, give me my tax dollars and let me go build something for myself. What is wrong with that? Maybe if your school system had a real or else, maybe if there was a real threat of losing the children, maybe, I won't even say I'm being sarcastic, they're going to come and ask you, what do you want? Because we want to keep these dollars. Now, I'm not going to tell you I want to keep your child. We want to keep these federal and state dollars that your child represents. Now that you have a real avenue through which you can extract those dollars from us, now we want to listen. But prior to that, we wasn't going to listen because we knew you didn't have anywhere else to go. Sounds like leverage to me. Anyway, I'm going to get back to class because I can, because, I'm blessed to be a part of a beautiful movement. African-centered school movement, the African-centered education movement, a beautiful, beautiful movement that's just focused on its work. That's it. It's a beautiful movement. Man, it's so cool just working inside our community. It's so cool being able to do that. That don't mean we don't pay attention to anything else. We do. We fund this. We support that. We write letters here and there. We do it. But it's not about being out front. It's not really about that. I mean, when that's necessary, that's necessary. But it's about building programs within the community. That's what it's about. It's about after school programs. It's about African centered schools. It's about Saturday schools. It's about teachers training. It's about homeschool co-ops. That's what it's about. It's about creating powerful material and curriculum and empowering our community to be able to go down to the school district and say, this is what we want exactly. This is the Black education agenda. It's about us coming together and saying, what industries do we want to take over? Because let's be real, y'all, that certain groups got certain industries on lock. We got to get in and see what we get, because you can't say we already got entertainment and sports. Those are just our highest paying jobs. Those are jobs, right? Someone else has a lot of the ownership, especially when it comes to distribution. We got to look at it and see, okay, which one of these industries do we want to dominate? What we want to educate our children to go into? Where are we going? What do we want to dominate? That's what the movement I'm in is about. These are the conversations that we have. I'm so proud to be a part of that movement. I'm about to go back to it because I don't know how long it's gonna last. I don't know, y'all. They might bring the tanks. They might bring the tanks. They ain't brought them in 13 years, but they might bring the tanks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for me or for the African Center School movement. I have an idea, but I also know that we have ideas. I also know that we have plans and we have a vision, a collective vision. And I feel good about our plan. I feel good about our strategies. If you want to get involved, this is the movement to get involved in. And yeah, I'm shamelessly plugging my movement. I'm shamelessly plugging the African Center Education Movement. Shout out to Dr. Oya Maya, Conscious Ingenuity. Shout out to my sister Cheryl Irvin and New Akibalon STEM Academy. Shout out to Uhuru Academy SC International. My sister Keontae Infinite and Shay Shay. What's up? Shout out to the family. Shout out to Mr. Sean Gales and Queen Haley Laird. Shout out to Lone Star RBG, my brother Supreme Rock. Shout out to my beautiful queen and Koyo Ojuwo. I just don't know. It's a movement going on. But we're working from within and we're focused on our work because a tree without roots cannot stand, and roots grow underground. Visit uhuruacademy.com today. Enroll the nearest young black genius you see. We got the UA online private school K-12. We have Operation Reconnect for those 16 and up who stopped out of high school. Uhuru University coming soon, very soon. Revamp the Uhuru store. Shout out to our sponsors, Sellers Reliance. Shout out to the Arms Marketplace. Young brothers doing powerful things. Hey, I love you. I don't mind telling you. I'm about to go back underground. Peace.